What is up, y'all? Welcome to my fantasy football podcast, episode number 19. Man, we're flying through this thing. Week 10 of the NFL just wrapped up tonight, heading into week 11 here. But let's recap, man. Personally, fantasy-wise, got a little rough in the win column, all right? We're toughing out there, but it's okay. We're still sitting pretty in most of these leagues. Sitting first here. This should tie up. Doesn't look like the wins have registered here. Don't think the wins have registered here. I actually won in this one, so I'll definitely still be at the top here. And down here, I took a loss, so I will be tied here for sure for third and with Mr. Ray. But I did beat him early in the year, so I'll have my third spot still there. Sitting nicely in most of those. I also have my, oh yeah, here we are. But other than that, betting wise, down $192. Bad money line loss. Bills? Really? Panthers? Really? Tried to be a little more conservative this weekend. I did lose some bad parlays because of those guys. Speaking here, Panthers lost me $100 on a parlay here. Just, trying to be conservative here. I was like, hey, Eagles are going to keep it a close game. Let's even give the Eagles 9.5 points. That was at 400 minus 400 odds. I don't even think I could have taken Carolina Panthers minus 10 that they lost at. Outright loss. Not good. 6-leg parlay. Boom. This one would have hit for $290. So that would have been up 230. But the Bills lose to the Dolphins, ruining a minus 350 odds and a great parlay. Also, a little bit of money on both those money lines kind of screwed everything. Had some good backups, but this is a great way to describe it, sloppy. We're coming correct this week, folks. Chiefs are playing, so we're really locked in. I just need to be more conservative on spreading money on the parlays and just lock in on these money lines, the ones I'm for sure of. Stay away from these divisional games. Lions were a good one that brought me some good money. I thought that one would be a great game, and it was 40-point dub. So could have easily taken the spread on that one too at 8.5 points. Let's come over here to recap. Well, we're kind of already talking about it. Falcons, Colts. Man, Colts cover. How about that? In overtime though, so that's kind of crazy. I think the spread actually went up to about 6.5. So the Colts didn't actually cover on most sports books, but we had them here at 5.5, and that's why we took them. This was a great game, man. Jonathan Taylor is insane. Danny Dimes coming down the field with blood in his mouth, looking good. I got to give credit to the Falcons too, man. They look pretty good. Coming up here and playing a team that's 8-2, that's pretty impressive. Got to give them their stride for that one. Coming down here, Saints, Panthers. What the hell? What the hell? We talked about it before the game. I said, hey, man, we took the Saints so many times this year. We got off the Saints at about week 7 because they were really playing bad. And I guess Tyler Show, that boy can put on a show. How about that guy? Brought it to the Panthers, who just a week removed from beating the Packers. So kind of a rough one for the Panthers. I don't know if it's the injuries or if it's just the mistakes the week before that they were kind of gifted a win in a sense. But I thought they were a good football team, but they're not a good football team. And the Saints aren't a good football team either. You can't tell me that they are just because they won this game. Speaking of not good football teams, the Bears and the Giants. I don't like either of these teams, and the fact that the Bears were able to come back in those last minutes killed me, man. I really thought that the Giants were going to keep it close. I mean, they obviously did. It was just such a close game, but I thought the Giants may have slipped away with this one at the end. I rightfully did pick it correctly here, but watching it, I was wishing that the Giants would come back. They've been some sneaky favorites. They took it to the Eagles this year, um, and they've kept it close in a couple more. So I guess without Jackson Dart, with him going out, that could have been their downfall. Russell Wilson is not in his prime anymore, we'll just say. So we need to just find someone else as a second string quarterback for him because he is not impressive when he's just coming off the bench. Jags, Texans, wow. Speaking about a little bit of a money line loss here too as well. I thought the Jags were really a great team playing against a backup quarterback, and man, they had him. They really did have him. I think at one point they were about 85% favorites. That did not work out. Texans defense, man, defense wins championships, and this proves stuff right here. Doesn't matter who you are, if your defense can keep an offense from scoring and let the offense get on the field and really heat up and do what they need to do, they'll make it happen. So I like to see this. Also, there was some mess ups in the beginning of the game too on their special teams unit. So for them to come back, it was very impressive. Bills and Dolphins, wow, whew. And a correct pick. I'm not gonna say your guy knows a thing or two, but your guy may know one thing. He doesn't know a thing or two. He might know one thing. All right, and that one thing might be that the Bills are not a great football team. A week removed from beating the Chiefs, can't beat the Dolphins. I feel like that might be a little tell into what happened during that game, actually, and that the Bills really did exhaust all their resources into a regular season football game. Granted, Chiefs still have to make the playoffs. However, Bills are not looking great against bad teams, especially the Dolphins, who just traded away some defensive players. So I like the Bills, but it's not very favorable when you can say that thing or when this happens to them. Okay, let's give them some flowers. I think my new favorite second AFC team is the Ravens. And I think this comes down to the right coach, the right quarterback, and a good defense. There's a very good reason why I didn't take the Ravens here, and it's because of their defense. I knew that J.J. McCarthy would go out there and have an okay day. And he did. He had an okay day. He didn't have a great one. He didn't have a great line by any means. But what this showed for me was the Ravens. I think they had three takeaways this weekend. You really got to give it to them. Coming out of the slums, man. If the Ravens are like the Chiefs, if they can get in the playoffs, they'll fight, man. They will really fight for it. They were a Mark Andrews bobble catch away. I'm actually a Mark Andrews drop away from the AFC Championship last year, playing the Chiefs. So give them some flowers. I obviously didn't on Thursday when I made this pick 'em. Browns, Jets. I mean, we can talk about this game if you guys really want to, but I don't really think it matters. Really all I have to say is that Shador needs to be the quarterback for the Browns, and Justin Fields is terrible. I think he had 2 yards overall in the first half. Gabriel, he's all right, but put Shador in. Gabriel's just tossing the ball above people's heads when it matters. Running out of pocket, doing his best Aaron Rodgers to throw off his back foot. Man, okay, kept it within 5. I like that. But Bucks were 2.5 favorites here. I think the Patriots are really someone you have to give a credit to, especially Vrabel. He's putting together a great team. They were like 4-12 last year. So regardless of how they finish in the playoffs, you really have to say, hey, those Patriots turned it around this year. They did a great job. Good for them. But fairly, I don't like the Patriots. I think they're a competitor for the Chiefs in like a dynasty sense. We really had to take it from him for a couple years, and I watched Tom Brady ruin us a couple times in the Chiefs Stadium at an AFC Championship. Um, when D Ford's lined up off sides, I actually have a Snapchat memory saved of this video. It says D Ford. Why? It's an interception. He throws it out to the freaking clear interception. We would have had the game sealed, man. Patrick Mahomes could have easily gone down and scored, but no. Tom Brady goes down, scores, no time left, and game over. So back to the Patriots of today. You really got me down a loophole there, kind of a little trauma dump for you. But this Patriots team is pretty good. Drake May, I'm not going to say he's the MVP because I think Matthew Stafford should be the MVP if a quarterback wins it. If a quarterback doesn't win it, and who it should be is Jonathan Taylor. This guy is phenomenal. He really does look like a 2012 Adrian Peterson, and that is a guy that I raved about forever. I just remember thinking he was the best player of all time. How can you be one of the first running backs in like 50 years to become a MVP? And that was Adrian Peterson. And then we might have it this year. Jonathan Taylor, let's keep him healthy. Let's keep winning for the Colts besides when they play the Chiefs. And they might have a great season. I think the Chiefs will keep him down a little bit because they've been keeping guys to low rushing yards besides James Cook. But other than that, that'll be a good game. Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks put up a freaking butt whooping on the Cardinals. I did have the Cardinals because they've only lost by 12 points in the last in their 5 losses prior. So 6 points I thought would be safe. Obviously not. Seahawks gave the ball away a few times. Looked like it was going to be close in the end if Brissett could have pulled something off, but it never ended up happening. First play of the game, just JSN. Actually, not first play of the game. First drive of the game, I think he had like a nice out and then just a bomb, 2-man coverage. One of the defenders fell down, but it doesn't matter. It's because he's so fast. Dude's going to have a 2,000-yard season. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Well, he might. He's on track to. Let's wait, but he could really very well. Look at all these green ones down here. I like this. 4 in a row green to end out. All these are some good teams too, so I feel like this is kind of a harder slate to pick from. Rams, 49ers. This is kind of an obvious one, though. Rams are on fire. Matthew Stafford. These guys look really good. Puka Nacua is one of the best receivers in the league right now. Total receiving yards, he's up there with JSN. He just missed a couple games, so that's kind of even more impressive. Lions, Commies. Commies just Marcus Mariota. He can't do it for him. Defense is shot. Lions look great. I think that the Lions are not really an NFC contender, though, and that's because they let the Commanders put up 22. Their defense has to be better, and that's where they've been flawed this week. It's different from the Rams letting the 49ers do it because that's a very good offense, but the Commanders' offense is not. And that's just a 4-point difference there. So got to be careful for the Lions here. They're going to have to win in shootouts. Jared Goff, notably a shootout guy, but that's not something you want to hang your hat on. You want to have a strong defense and a strong offense. You want to be able to score 44 points and shut them out to 0. I know Dan Campbell does, their head coach. Chargers, Steelers. Kind of felt like this was an obvious one. I feel like Chargers probably could have gotten 4.5 here at home. The game in the first half looked awful, just very boring. Safety, field goals, not a lot of scoring. And then in the second half, Justin Herbert decided to turn it on, and Aaron Rodgers just looked pissed. And I think he's getting a little old at this point. I don't know what's up with the Steelers. Just surprising people left and right. But here we are again. Steelers probably going to end up 8-8. Eagles, Packers. I had the Eagles 2.5 here. Very close cover. Oh, I guess it was plus 2.5, so they could have even lost by a point or so. And this game, I think it was just very strange. You could have said this was like a defensive clinic, but I just saw balls being dropped left and right. Like I feel like Jordan Love's balls were either out of bounds or the receiver was on the ground trying to catch the ball at the same time as his hands were hitting the ground, the ball was hitting the ground. It probably happened 12 times. For Justin, or not Justin, Jalen Hurts, it's him rolling out of the pocket, jumping or throwing across his shoulder, or just doing something he really shouldn't do. He's really good when he does set his feet. He really is. But he's not setting his feet. He's trying to do stuff he can't. He doesn't look very mobile right now. He looks very straight line. But they took a win here. You got to give them that. Saquon Barkley was getting read like a book. He only had a couple really good plays, really some swing out plays. When he makes the first guy miss, he's dangerous. But when he doesn't, man, they get killed. Ugh. Ugh. Like I said, it's nighttime, but we're doing this because this is freaking football, man. And if you want to watch football and you want to study this stuff, you got to put the hours in. Pittsburgh, I don't think we picked the scores correctly at all. Yeah, not even close. Going in here, we already talked about a little bit of standings. I want to talk about Super Bowl odds. Kansas City Chiefs sitting at the top. Some might be like, how's that possible? The Chiefs don't even have the best record in their. Chiefs are sitting third in their division, actually, which is pretty funny. But they are still favored to win the Super Bowl at plus 600. You got it, like we talked about, right coach, right quarterback, right defense. If you have these things, you're going to be secure. And this is where a combination of these teams inside of here kind of miss. I'm only going to be able to give some props to the Chiefs here, the Ravens here, the Rams here, and the Eagles, especially after watching the Eagles take on a good opponent tonight. And I'm going to talk about why the other guys really don't deserve it, kind of down to about the Broncos and the Buccaneers, because after that, it's very self-explanatory. For the Detroit Lions, a little bit before, I don't think their defense is there. It might be the injuries. I just don't think that they're playing at the elite level that they usually do. They let the Vikings beat them last week. They've lost to the Chiefs. Letting the Commanders put up 22 with Marcus Mariota at the helm. It just doesn't scream Super Bowl champion to me, especially when you're going to have to play the Rams and the Eagles. Contrary to when the Eagles, I mean, well, actually, we'll see this week. We're going to see some fantastic games coming in this next slate this week. Let's see, week 11. Got to look down here. Oh, we are going to see the Lions and the Eagles play this week. This will be really fun, actually. Like we're talking about, I don't think that the Lions are going to be able to keep up with the Eagles. When the Eagles are firing on all cylinders, they are insane. And the Eagles have a very good defense, and they're going to slow the Lions down. No matter what you think, they are able to stop the run. Look at Josh Jacobs tonight. Just okay, Seahawks. This one I'm going to get a little flack for because they're so hot, but they play in such a good division, and we're going to see this on Sunday too. They play the Rams, and this is really their testament game. There's been so much hype poured into this team, man. So much hype. People are saying this is the best offense they've seen in the last 10 years. Best offense since Kansas City in 2021. I mean, seriously, pump the brakes, people. I heard a McDonald coach of the year. Do you guys know Shane Steichen, Mike Vrabel, teams that have actually been able to turn around a great performance? Um, these guys are just, let's go check the Seahawks real quick because when they do play good teams, that's where they struggle. Coming down here, lost to the 49ers, lost to the Buccaneers. Those are good teams and they struggle. They've really not beat anyone impressive. And they're going to get tried here with the Rams. And they're not going to get tried again until they play the Colts and the Rams again. So they're really kind of getting a very beautifully gifted season, especially when they're going to play the Titans next week. The Vikings could be a little bit of competition for them, but I just don't really see it happening. This is the current picture right now. Indiana sitting at 1, and so is Seattle sitting at 1. So it's so weird that they're sitting at 1, but they're not even up there above the Rams because I think the Rams are really going to take it this week as a tiebreaker, and that would put them in the first seed. But they do have to play twice. Colts. Why I'm out on the Colts is I'm gonna wait till they play the Chiefs actually, because I don't want to speak too much on this one. I don't know what I just don't think they're that great of a team as their record says. Let's say you're playing. I mean, they just played the Falcons, man, and they went to overtime. The Falcons are not a great football team. They are not putting together complete games, and that's what's happening here. I mean, they're letting Jonathan Taylor score 3 touchdowns. So if you can stop the run on them, I think they're over with. If you can get after Danny Dimes, it is a slaughterhouse. I mean, the guy will fumble all day for you. He will just give you the ball. So I think especially when the Chiefs play them, Spags is going to get to him. But other than that, it's going to be a tough game for both teams. Buffalo Bills. I'm out on them, though. The Bills just... I know they beat the Chiefs, but that's in the regular season. They always do that. They exhaust their resources. They think it's all important, but I didn't even see the Chiefs go under center when they played them. I went back, watched the whole game, play by play. Didn't even see an under center play. Didn't even see an RPO. It's all just run, deep shot, screenplay. I feel like the Chiefs weren't trying to give them too much of their sauce. And I think that's a good thing, especially because we didn't even have all of our offensive linemen playing. I think that this could potentially be a big turnaround for the Chiefs. They could definitely take on the Bills again. Packers, we watched them play the Eagles tonight. If they play the Eagles in the playoffs, which they'll have to go to the Super Bowl if the Eagles win out, or if they want to play the Rams, I just don't think they'll beat either of those teams. They don't play great against good teams. Patriots. Let's be serious here, folks. There's no real run game, and Drake May is the only threat. He's a very young quarterback, and it's not too hard to get after him. And when it gets down to a good crunch time situation, I feel like you're playing the Chiefs, you're playing the Ravens, those guys are going to get after you. And that's why I'm heavy on the Ravens, man. Their defense, if it plays lights out, they're the scariest team in the NFL. We've talked about it before the season, too. If Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are going, defense, all they have to do is not let the team score 7 points. If they can hold the team to a field goal, Lamar Jackson is almost guaranteed a touchdown when he needs it. He is a lethal guy, man. That guy can really make it happen, especially when you have Derrick Henry behind you. And let's say you get down to a 3rd and 1 or a 2nd and 1, and you just need a quick first down so you can go down and do another shot. That's where this big guy comes in. They're very, very well built as a team. And if the defense does what they have to, especially after trading Hamilton, one of their great corners, and Jair, uh, they'll still make it happen. Um, I'm going to go over here. I feel like the Broncos, Bucks, they're just kind of on the same page offensively, striking. Just kind of lackluster on the offense when they need it. Chiefs not even in here. Take that with a grain of salt. We'll be there one day. All we need to do is get there, just take over Denver, and we are in. Man, this is all I have for this week. It was a super exciting weekend. Need to do better with the monies and the bets, but we'll be okay. We live to see another day, especially in the fantasy world. Teams are doing very well, and that's something I'm very proud of. It's something I put a lot of work into. I think that there's only a few things that we could highlight for this next week coming up. Joe Burrow is coming back. He could potentially be starting in a couple weeks. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. Can the Chiefs win out? That's something I wanted to look at. Talked a little bit about it in a couple other episodes, but Broncos this week, big game at Broncos. Colts, huge game, but at Chiefs. So I think that one's kind of a gift to us. Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Cowboys, we're going to kick their nays. Texans will be a fantastic game. I actually hope CJ Stroud plays that. That one will be at Chiefs. Chargers at Chiefs. That will be a great one, especially considering they won earlier in the year. I think we'll bring it to them. We're going to play the Titans at the Titans. That's a guaranteed win. Playing the Broncos at home. I'm taking a guaranteed win. And Raiders, guaranteed win at home. I'm feeling these last 3 ones are very nice. So currently sitting at 5. Let's take the 3 guarantees. That's 8. So we're tied with Denver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'd be 5 weeks that we're really going to have to compete with them. We'll see. I think 3 to 4 weeks will really show us the playoff picture. I think past 4 weeks from now, we don't have to guess too much, especially seeing what the Chargers do in the next few weeks as well. They could be sneaky, sneaky favorites if they beat the Jags and go on a bye. Gosh, I hope they take it to the Eagles. Player pickups this week. If you're looking for waiver wires, Tyler Algier, great guy to look at. Just because of his touch ratio right now. Oh, 2 L's. Sorry, big guy. Tyler Algier, he's on a couple teams already, rostered in 27% of leagues, so you could definitely find him. With his touchdowns right now, he's scoring so much. That's what you really have to like about him in some fantasy leagues. He's being put in when they're on the 4th and 1. He's being put in when they're on the goal line at 1 yard. Parker Washington, he is a great wide receiver for Jacksonville right now, getting all the targets that he can, getting all the targets that the team has to offer. 3rd-year player. Yeah, having a pretty good season this year, 300 yards so far. Already almost surpassing his last year total. Otherwise, Troy Franklin for Denver would be a look at. Alex Pierce, his only downside was no touchdowns, but I believe in this last week he had 2. So kind of breaks that streak right there. Oh, just 1 touchdown. But he played a hell of a game. Kind of a go-to target for Danny Dimes when he's scrambling or in the shite. And the guy's very good. When he gets the ball, I don't think people really want to be near him. Sean Tucker for running back. Dude had a crazy game this last week. You got to look at him. Oh, 9 carries. Not exactly as crazy as I thought. But let's come over here. Yeah, there's not just too many pickups in this league. Ty Johnson would be the best up in here. Coming over here to kind of a more pickup-wise league. Yeah, Trayvon Henderson, all these guys that are questionable. Kind of a lackluster running back pickups right now. And tight ends, man, if you can find Jawan Johnson, if Tyler Show's going to be here, I think he really likes him. Jawan Johnson, 92 yards and a touchdown. All right. So, and that's up against a very good Panthers defense, too. So, Jawan Johnson, great tight end pickup. A.J. Barner, if he's out there for Seattle, dude puts up great points. Kind of lackluster a couple weeks, but an 11, a 24, and a 10. Theo Johnson, good look out for the Giants. I just don't like Russ at quarterback. Cade Otton, if he's still out there. Dalton Schultz, if you can find him. But these guys are going to be on most of the teams. Defensive teams, I like the Packers, the Texans, possibly Chargers would be okay this week if you can find them. Bears would be very good if you can find them. Actually, Bears would be amazing if you can find them. Oh, I'm lying. They're not playing them this week. They played them this week. And you know what? I think that's about it for week 8 or week 10 of the NFL season, wrapping up Monday night. I hate the Eagles, but I'm glad they won. That would have been bad if they didn't. Kind of bad for the NFL as a whole. I like that team. I just want to play them again so we can beat them. Man, much love if you're watching this far. Keep going. Keep betting. Keep grinding. I'm feeling like a Gruden grinder this week. Just work. Sports. So as much football as I can watch right now, I'm watching. Just all over it. Kind of indulging in it, actually. It's kind of fun. I just don't like going to work and the other parts and having to break that time up. But hey, man, if you don't want me to go to work and you want me to keep doing this, comment, engage in these videos, text me, let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm gonna have my boy Justin on in a couple weeks. We're gonna be doing a little Thanksgiving recaps of those games. That's gonna be pretty cool. Much love to y'all, and peace. I'll see you in the next one.